Hi, this is Ian Smith and welcome to Transition Thursdays. It's my weekly post of all things to do with succession planning, transition planning for business owners, and hopefully help their advisors as well with some new ideas along the way. Today I wanted to talk about management buyouts and why they are so darn hard. And I've mentioned earlier this year, I think this is a great year for management buyouts with all the chaos with Trump tariffs and everything else. Now's a good time to bring managers up in the business or spend the time, as I said last week, preparing for that transition event. Doesn't have to happen this year, but being prepared adds value to your business, makes it less stressful when the time comes. So on management buyouts, I often hear from business owners that they feel that management buyouts should be pretty easy, right? And it seems intuitive that they should be. The managers know the business, they know the owner, they understand what's driving the business forward, what's growing profits, etc. And so I think everybody kind of drops their guard down. And so when it comes time to do the buyout, there's a misunderstanding, there's conflicts, there's things that just happen. And a lot of the times the managers get frustrated, the owner gets frustrated, everything kind of blows up and you end up losing part of your management team. And of course you lose momentum, the business suffers, etc. So why is that? And here's what I think, because I've led a bunch of management buyouts over the years. In fact, I've led a second generation of buyouts twice now, where I helped the first generation of managers, and I've been in this business so long that now I've actually helped the second generation buy from the third generation buy from the second generation. So now, what I think is the biggest challenges in having successful management buyouts are these. Number one, it starts with the hiring process. If you're hiring functional managers that are very good in one area of the business, and that's what they do and they do it very well, but they don't think of the overall business, you're going to have troubles. And that goes with sort of a mindset of an ownership mindset, an entrepreneurial mindset. People that are willing to take some more risk, willing to really think about the overall wellness of the company and not just the success of their division. So hiring is number one. Number two is constant communication about the opportunity and thinking about the opportunity for a management buyout well before one is actually transacted. The more time you have and the more time you can prepare the management team, the better I think you'll be. Number three, be consistent and clear on what your expectations are for that management buyout. If you think that the business is going to warrant a premium and that you think that as an owner that the business, regardless of who you sell it to, should be sold at a premium, it's going to make it harder for a manager to buy into the business. It's going to be harder for them to finance a significant amount of their purchase price in order to afford to buy those shares in the business, or they end up with such a small percentage that it's not really meaningful to them. So that's the next thing. And then when it comes time to do the transaction, again, I see both the owners and the managers put their guards down. They don't hire professionals. They work with people that they know, but that maybe haven't had experience with management buyouts. And so they end up spending a lot of money on legal fees because they have these disagreements with the documents. They forget some very important issues like board representation, shareholder rights, anti-dilution issues, new articles of association perhaps, or new, just a whole bunch of other new agreements, new understandings that have to take place. And one thing to think about is, and you've heard me talk about it before if you listened to any of my videos, the normalizations that take place when we go to transact on a business at arm's length. All those personal expenses that you may be running through a company, those have to kind of go away when you sell to managers. So there has to be an understanding of how those are dealt with, what the earnings look like without those expenses, etc. And so having professionals that can help you right through the process, I think, is critically important. It's not sort of a nod to our firm, but to firms that do this sort of work. We've seen a lot of different things that have happened over the years, and allows us to help you and your management team be better prepared. Now, I want to just add, these comments about management buyouts, they are very similar to a family transition. If you're bringing your kids into the business, they have to understand the whole business. They can't just come in at the top and expect that they're going to get respect from the rest of the team. They've got to work their way up, really think about the overall organization, and really earn their stripes or earn their place in the business. And I've seen this happen very, very successfully, and I've seen it happen incredibly poorly. But the same principles apply to a family succession as they do for management buyout. On the family transition side, maybe you have a family coach, or you have some sort of family mentor for the next generation. But being consistent in your messaging and bringing them in at the right time and allowing them to see the whole business is critically important to the future success of the business after a transition of that type. So that's my message for today. We're actually working on a management buyout right now where the owners, of course, at the start thought, hey, this is really simple. And yes, it should be. Intuitively, it should be. But if you don't have all those pieces in place ahead of time, it does mean that it's going to be a little more difficult to get it over the finish line successfully. So that's my thoughts for the day. Leave a comment, connect with me on LinkedIn or Facebook, and I hope you have a great rest of the week.